Good evening, beloved community. It is such a joy to gather together in the middle of the week, stepping away from the chaos of our daily lives to refocus our hearts and minds on the goodness of our God. Tonight, I want to encourage you with a message that speaks to the very core of our confidence in God's protection and provision, which ultimately leads us to a place of fearlessness in our lives. Let's begin by reflecting on Psalm 27:1, which declares, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" This powerful verse serves as a reminder of who our God is and what He provides for us. It's a beautiful affirmation that in the midst of uncertainty, we can stand firm in our faith, knowing that God is our protector and our provider. In a world that often feels chaotic, where fear and anxiety seem to lurk around every corner, we must always remember that God is our light. His light dispels darkness, bringing clarity and hope into our lives. When the shadows of doubt and despair surround us, we can turn to Him, trusting that He will illuminate our path. The confidence we have in God's protection transforms our perspective. It shifts our focus from the problems we face to the promises He has made. Think about it. What are the fears that weigh heavy on your heart today? Is it the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, or perhaps the fear of the unknown? Whatever it may be, I want to remind you that these fears do not define you. Instead, they are opportunities for us to experience the strength of our God. When we acknowledge our fears and bring them before God, we allow His light to shine upon them, illuminating the truth that we are not alone. When David wrote this psalm, he was surrounded by enemies and faced with the very real dangers of life. Yet, he boldly proclaimed his confidence in God. He understood that God was not just an abstract concept, but a personal Savior who provided for him in tangible ways. As we reflect on our own lives, we can find assurance in knowing that God is with us in our struggles. He is our salvation, our stronghold. In times of difficulty, we can look back and remember the ways God has protected us in the past. Each time we face challenges, He was there guiding us, comforting us, and providing for our needs. This rich history of God's faithfulness builds our confidence in Him. We can say with certainty, if God was with me then, He is with me now, and He will be with me in the future. As we cultivate this confidence, we find ourselves less consumed by fear. Fear often paralyzes us, keeping us from stepping into the future God has for us. But when we trust in God's protection, we are empowered to move forward, to take risks, and to embrace the life He has called us to live. Remember, fear does not have the final say in our lives, God does. Moreover, let's consider the provision of God. We often worry about our needs, financial, emotional, relational, yet Psalm 37:25 reminds us, "I have been young, and now am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, or his children begging for bread." God is a provider. He sees our needs before we even vocalize them, and He is committed to meeting them in His perfect timing. This doesn't mean that we won't face challenges, or that we won't experience moments of scarcity, but it does mean that in those moments, we can lean into our faith, trusting that God will provide for us. We can seek His kingdom first, knowing that all these things will be added unto us. Matthew 6:33. How often do we allow fear to dictate our decisions? When we are overwhelmed by fear, we may hesitate to act, to speak out, or to seize opportunities. This fear can keep us from pursuing our dreams or stepping into the calling God has placed on our lives. But the truth is that God is calling us to live boldly and fearlessly. He wants us to trust Him so deeply that we are willing to take steps of faith even when the path is unclear. As we navigate through life, let's remind ourselves that we are never alone. The God who created the universe is intimately aware of our struggles and our fears. He invites us to cast all our anxieties on Him, for He cares for us. 1 Peter 5-7. When we surrender our fears and place our trust in His protection and provision, we discover a peace that surpasses all understanding. Philippians 4-7. In closing, I encourage you to meditate on Psalm 27-1 this week. Let it be a beacon of light in your life, a reminder that you do not need to fear. God is your light, your salvation, and your stronghold. As we leave this place tonight, may we go forth with renewed confidence, knowing that we are held securely in the hands of our loving Father. Let us embrace a life free from fear, walking boldly into the future He has prepared for us. Amen.